Oscar had always been an adventurous soul, seeking excitement in the great outdoors. His love for hiking took him to some of the most remote and breathtaking locations around the world. On a misty autumn morning, Oscar found himself embarking on a solo hiking expedition in the dense forests of Blackwood. The locals whispered eerie tales about the haunted trails of Blackwood, but Oscar dismissed them as mere superstitions. He believed in the beauty of nature and the tranquility it offered. However, as he ventured deeper into the heart of the forest, an unsettling feeling crept over him. The dense foliage blocked out the sunlight, and a chilling silence enveloped the surroundings. Oscar's footsteps echoed through the trees, creating an eerie symphony of sounds. Every rustle of leaves and snap of a twig sent shivers down his spine. Despite his unease, Oscar pushed forward, determined to conquer the trail. As dusk settled, Oscar realized he had lost track of time. He hurriedly set up camp, hoping to rest before continuing the next day. But sleep eluded him. Strange whispers seemed to echo through the trees, and a cold breeze whispered against his skin. The forest was alive, but not with the serenity he had come to cherish. In the dead of night, Oscar awoke to a blood-curdling scream that pierced through the darkness. Fear gripped him as he realized he was not alone. He fumbled for his flashlight, casting its feeble beam into the blackness around him. Illuminated in the distance, he saw a figure standing amidst the trees, watching him with hollow eyes. Oscar's heart raced, and he couldn't shake off the feeling of being hunted. He packed his belongings hastily, determined to escape the forest's clutches. As he hurried through the undergrowth, the sinister presence seemed to follow, always lurking just beyond his line of sight. With every step, the forest grew more treacherous. Twisted roots threatened to trip him, and branches reached out like skeletal fingers. Panic set in, and Oscar's mind raced with terrifying possibilities. Was he being pursued by a deranged stranger, or was there something more sinister at play in the depths of Blackwood? As dawn broke, Oscar stumbled upon an abandoned cabin hidden among the trees. It stood weathered and forgotten, but offered him a glimmer of hope. He cautiously entered, seeking refuge from the nightmares that pursued him. Inside, he discovered a tattered journal, its pages filled with the accounts of other lost souls who had encountered the darkness of Blackwood. The entries revealed tales of inexplicable disappearances and unexplained phenomena. The forest had a way of ensnaring those who dared to wander too deep. Oscar's blood ran cold as he read the stories, realizing that he might never escape Blackwood's grasp. Oscar's hands trembled as he turned the pages of the journal, absorbing the horrors that befell those who dared to tread the haunted trails. Desperation clouded his mind, but he knew he had to find a way out of Blackwood before it consumed him too. The cabin offered temporary respite, but it was not a sanctuary. The eerie silence outside amplified the fear that gripped Oscar's heart. He glanced out of the cabin's window and noticed a narrow path leading deeper into the forest. Reluctantly, he made up his mind to venture forth, hoping to uncover a means of escape. As he stepped onto the path, a chilling mist began to descend, obscuring his vision. The whispers grew louder, and Oscar could sense malevolent eyes watching his every move. The air turned icy, and his breath came out in shallow gasps. It felt as though the forest itself was closing in around him. With each passing moment, the path seemed to shift and change, leading him further away from familiarity. Panic threatened to overwhelm him, but he fought against it, determined to survive. The forest played tricks on his mind, distorting reality and distorting his senses. Suddenly, Oscar stumbled upon an old, dilapidated wooden bridge spanning a deep ravine. Its weathered planks creaked under his weight, and the river below roared with an ominous energy. It was his only chance to cross and find his way back to civilization. Summoning every ounce of courage, Oscar took a tentative step onto the bridge. The wood groaned and swayed, adding to the sense of impending doom. Halfway across, a gust of wind howled through the ravine, threatening to push him into the abyss. He clung to the railing, his heart pounding in his chest. As Oscar reached the other side, A bone-chilling laughter echoed through the forest. He turned, searching for the source, but saw nothing. The forest taunted him, playing on his fears and toying with his sanity. Determined not to succumb, Oscar quickened his pace, determined to find a way out of this nightmare. After what felt like an eternity, Oscar stumbled upon a clearing. Relief washed over him as he saw a narrow path leading to a road. Exhausted and battered, he emerged from the haunting depths of Blackwood and found himself on the outskirts of a small town. His body covered in dirt and his mind forever scared, Oscar vowed never to return to the cursed forest. Blackwood had shown him the true depths of darkness, but he had managed to escape with his life. In the safety of the town, Oscar reported his harrowing experience to the local authorities. The locals listened, their faces filled with a mix of sympathy and terror. They shared their own tales of encountering the malevolent force that lurked within Blackwood's depths. It became evident that the forest held an ancient secret, one that claimed unsuspecting souls who dared to venture too close. From that day forward, Oscar became an advocate for spreading awareness about the dangers of Blackwood. He shared his story, warning others of the treacherous trails and the malevolent presence that dwelled within. Blackwood's haunting presence continued to cast a shadow over Oscar's life, forever etched into his memories. He never hiked alone again, always seeking the companionship and safety of others. Though he survived, a part of him remained lost in the chilling embrace of the forest, a cautionary tale for all who yearned for adventure amidst the whispering trees. Mabel had always been an adventurous soul. Exploring the great outdoors and embarking on hiking trips were her favorite pastimes. There was something about being surrounded by nature's beauty that brought her a sense of peace and fulfillment. One sunny morning, Mabel set out on a solo hiking adventure in the remote mountains. Armed with her trusty backpack and a detailed map, she was determined to conquer the challenging trail that led to a breathtaking waterfall known as Cascade Peak. As Mabel trekked deeper into the wilderness, she noticed a peculiar silence. The usual sounds of birds chirping and leaves rustling were absent, replaced by an eerie stillness that sent shivers down her spine. Brushing off the unsettling feeling, she continued along the narrow path, determined to reach her destination. Hours turned into a day, and Mabel realized she had veered off the marked trail. Panic set in as she tried to retrace her steps, but found herself lost in an unfamiliar forest. The sinking feeling of isolation enveloped her, and she knew that finding her way back would be a daunting task. Just as Mabel's hope began to fade, she stumbled upon a weathered signpost, barely visible through the thick foliage. The sign pointed in two directions. One led to the ominous-sounding Deadman's Pass, and the other to the unknown territory of Whispering Pines. With no other options in sight, Mabel reluctantly chose to follow the path to Whispering Pines, her heart pounding with uncertainty. As Mabel ventured deeper into the Whispering Pines, an unsettling feeling of being watched engulfed her. The dense canopy above blocked out most of the sunlight, casting an eerie gloom over the forest floor. The silence was punctuated only by the occasional rustling of unseen creatures. A faint, melodic whisper carried through the air, luring Mabel deeper into the heart of the forest. Her curiosity mingled with caution as she followed the ethereal sound. The trail twisted and turned, leading her to an abandoned cabin nestled amidst the towering pines. A sense of foreboding filled Mabel as she cautiously approached the decaying structure. The door creaked open with a gentle push, revealing a room frozen in time. Dust-covered furniture stood as silent witnesses to a forgotten era. A diary lay open on a wooden desk, its yellowed pages filled with cryptic entries. Mabel's hands trembled as she read the words scrawled on the page. The diary belonged to Emily, a hiker who had gone missing years ago in these very woods. Emily's entries spoke of whispers that plagued her dreams, haunting her every waking moment. The voices urged her to stay, promising secrets and power. Unease settled in Mabel's heart as she realized the haunting whispers were not a figment of Emily's imagination, but a very real presence in these woods. The voices seemed to grow louder, urging Mabel to join them in their eternal plight. Determined to break free from the clutches of the haunting whispers, Mabel embarked on a race against time. She gathered her strength, ignoring the unnerving voices that echoed through the forest, and devised a plan to find her way back to civilization. Using her survival skills, Mabel set up markers along the path, hoping to create a trail that would guide her back to the safety of the known world. Each step she took was met with resistance from the whispers, but her determination pushed her forward. Days turned into nights as Mabel tirelessly navigated through the dense forest, her resolve unyielding. Her mind and body weakened, but she refused to succumb to the lure of the haunting voices. With every marker she placed, she gained a glimmer of hope that escape was within reach. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Mabel emerged from the whispering pines. Her eyes met the familiar sight of sunlight filtering through the leaves, and the sounds of nature welcomed her back. Exhausted but relieved, she collapsed onto the forest floor, grateful to be free from the haunting grip of the mysterious voices. As Mabel looked back at the path she had traversed, she knew her encounter with the whispering pines would forever be etched in her memory. It was a testament to her resilience and an experience that reminded her of the darkness that lurks within the beauty of nature. But even though the whispers haunted her dreams, Mabel vowed to continue her love affair with hiking, forever wary of the secrets that lay hidden in the depths of the wilderness. Mabel's determination to conquer the wild was unshakable, despite the lingering echoes of the whispering pines. She sought solace in the familiarity of her hiking gear, the comfort of her backpack against her shoulders. The lure of adventure and the thrill of the unknown called to her once again. Undeterred by her previous encounter, Mabel set out on a new hiking expedition. This time, she chose a trail known as Serenity Ridge, a name that evoked tranquility and promised breathtaking vistas. As she began her ascent, Mabel couldn't shake off the lingering unease that still clung to her from the whispering pines. Days turned into weeks, and Mabel found herself immersed in the beauty of Serenity Ridge. The trail wound through meadows filled with vibrant wildflowers and along jagged cliffs that offered stunning views of the surrounding valleys. It seemed like a paradise, untouched by darkness. But as Mabel delved deeper into the trail, an unsettling pattern began to emerge. Each night, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the once serene atmosphere transformed into an eerie symphony of unexplained sounds. Shadows danced in the moonlight, and whispers tickled her ears, evoking memories of the haunting voices she had encountered before. Determined not to let fear control her, Mabel pressed on, her senses heightened. She noticed peculiar markings along the trail, symbols etched onto trees and rocks. They seemed ancient and foreboding, hinting at a hidden secret embedded within Serenity Ridge. As Mabel followed the trail deeper into the heart of the ridge, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They spoke of forgotten tales, lost souls, and the price one must pay for stepping foot into this forbidden realm. The weight of the unknown burdened her shoulders, but her thirst for answers pushed her forward. Days turned into months as Mabel explored the depths of Serenity Ridge, her mind consumed by the whispers. She found herself questioning her sanity, wondering if the haunting voices were a manifestation of her own fears. But in her heart, she knew there was something more sinister lurking in the shadows. With each passing day, Mabel grew more determined to unravel the mystery of Serenity Ridge, to uncover the truth that lay hidden beneath its enchanting facade. The whispers had become a part of her, driving her forward, fueling her curiosity. She would not rest until she discovered the secrets that the ridge held.